Hi guys, and welcome back to another Gab's cryptocurrency video where we trade by data and not by hype. And today, we're going to check Bitcoin on track and titingnan natin ano ba yung nakikita natin ngayon for the Bitcoin chart tonight in the short term as well as in the long term. So in today's video, we'll talk about this very big bullish divergences na nakita natin in the daily time frame. This is actually one of the biggest bullish divergence in the history of crypto. So, we will be looking into this and we'll also dive into this video na pinag-usapan nila Michael Saylor and Benjamin Cohen. So, let's talk about this for quite a while since this is a very good topic na magandang pinasok ni Benjamin Cohen. So, maganda siya pasadahan mamaya. But yeah, other than that, we'll dive into the Bitcoin short term. Ano na ba nangyayari dito sa atin sa Bitcoin short term? So, let's dive into this video first. So let's look at the Bitcoin short term. So recently, I actually gave you a signal na meron tayong ito. Meron tayong head and shoulders pattern. So head and shoulders pattern is traditionally a trend reversal to the downside. So ayan o, head, shoulder, head, shoulder. So this means this is a movement to the downside. However, if you are going to look at this, what we always need para masabi natin na confirm breakout is volume. Though we are getting the volume na ating hinahanap, I don't think that is enough volume para masabi na breakout na siya. So, this can be, let's say na hindi siya fully aabot dito kasi yung volume niya kulang pa. However, this is a good indication na yun nga, nagkakaroon tayo ng breakout kasi na-break natin yung ating neckline. And this is actually a very good looking head and shoulders pattern. So, tingnan natin yung 15-minute time frame para makita natin yung itsura niya ngayon. So, in the 15-minute time frame, what we're going to follow is moving, this 20 moving exponential average. So, makikita mo na itong 20 EMA is actually playing around, this 20 EMA is actually playing around ito. So, right now, this 15-minute time frame is playing around this resistance. So makita mo na Bitcoin went down but it actually received the bounce dito sa support level natin. So nung nag-bounce siya dyan sa support level, nakakuha tayo ng rejection dito. Possibly makakuha tayo ng rejection dito sa ating 21 EMA. So yeah, this is a thing to watch out for itong 20 EMA sa 15-minute time frame kasi diyan tayo more likely magkakaroon ng resistance. So yeah, this is yung kailangan natin tingnan, 20 EMA sa ating 15-minute time frame kasi dun tayo more likely magkakaroon ng resistance. And then more likely, dun tayo possibly mag-reject. So yun nga, right now we are playing at that area. And then after that, let's also look at the early time frame naman. So in the early time frame, what we can actually notice is ito nga, we are playing this different support and resistance levels. So ayun, actually lumalakas ulan ngayon, kung naririnig nyo. Pero yeah. So, kung narinig nyo boses ko guys, medyo malakas yung ulan. So, baka hindi nyo masyado marinig. Pero yeah. So, ayun, 21 EMA yung kanyang resistance. And yun nga, mahina yung volume niya sa ating downtrend. So, mahina yung volume niya sa breakout. So, possible na baka hindi matuloy yung ating target dito fully. Dahil yun nga, mahina yung volume. So, what's next for this movement? So, the next thing na kailangan natin tingnan dito is yung possible support niya around this 20, this next moving averages, 20, 50, and 100 and 200. So, as you can see, we are far below these moving averages. So, very oversold na tayo dyan. Ano pa ba nakita natin? Actually, yan lang halos dito kasi MACD is, so far, no indication pa na magka-cross. Pero, yun nga, head and shoulders pattern pa din siya. So yun nga. So kailangan natin ng volume kasi tinan mo wala tayong masyadong volume. Now let's look into another time frame naman, the 4-hour time frame since so far ito lang yung nakikita natin for the short term eh. So let's look at the 4-hour. So in the 4-hour time frame, we are actually still inside this falling channel. So ayan no. So matagal natin to fina-follow. So ngayon, recently nagkaroon tayo actually ng possible move which is yung ito nga double bottom. So ayun no, nagkaroon tayo ng W and then nagkaroon tayo ng breakout. However, kulang yung volume natin. So nagkaroon nga siya, nag-lead siya ng itong dump. So kaya nagkaakita tayo ng dump to the downside kasi first of all meron tayong bearish divergence and of course head and shoulders. But yeah, in the 4-hour time frame, it seems like we are still somehow on track pa din dito sa head and shoulders. However, kulang ating volume para masabi nating dire-diretso siya pababa. So, this is somehow going to get resisted or supported somewhere around 32,000 or 33,000. So, dun yung possible support areas natin dito sa head and shoulders pattern na to. So, yun yung kailangan natin i-watch out for this one. And yeah, kakagaling lang din natin sa ating bullish divergence. So, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng pump to the upside. However, ito nga bearish divergence kaya nakita tayo ng movement to the downside. And sa ngayon, yung ating kailangan abangan is possible divergences. So, sa ngayon, wala pa tayong nakitang possible divergences as of this moment. So, yun yung Bitcoin for the 4-hour time frame. Now, let's look at the daily time frame kasi dito tayo mas maraming pag-uusapan. So, this is Bitcoin for the daily time frame. So, this is something na kailangan natin tingnan. So, as you could recall guys, nagkaroon tayo ng death cross. So, ayan no. So, nagkaroon ng death cross, hence, nagkaroon tayo ng movement to the downside. And right now, we are actually seeing Bitcoin going down further. However, the more na bumabagsak si Bitcoin, it actually gives us two more good things. So first, if bumabagsak palalo si Bitcoin, ibig sabihin nun, maganda tingnan si RSI kasi dun tayo makaabang ng trend reversal. So kaya lagi natin tinitingnan si RSI every time na bumabagsak si Bitcoin. Other than that, yung second good thing na kailangan natin tingnan is yung moving average. In this case, kailangan natin tingnan si 50 moving average kasi siya yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng death cross. So sa previous video natin, napag-usapan natin yung previous death cross. Ang sabi natin, pag nag-cross siya dito sa kanyang red line, that's a possible trend reversal to the upside na. So ito yung kailangan nating abangan kasi dyan tayo more likely makakita ng possible movement. So ayun, yun yung kailangan nating tingnan kung tatawid na ba tayo doon after ng death cross. So sa ngayon, let's look at the latest data. Sa ngayon, wala pa tayong cross na nagaganap for this to have a trend reversal. However, may nakita din tayo isa pang pattern dito guys sa daily time frame. So, let's look at this. If you're going to look further, natandaan nyo to guys na nagkaroon tayo dito ng rising wedge. So, ayun o, rising wedge. And then, at the same time, during that rising wedge, meron din tayong bearish divergence. So, hence, nagkaroon tayo ng trend reversal to the downside. Ngayon, nagkakaroon din tayo ng isa pang signal dito. And this is a falling wedge. If you're going to plot this line, ayan o, falling wedge. And ayan o, falling wedge, and then meron tayong bullish divergence. This could mean a possible trend reversal to the upside. So, it means na siguro anytime around the middle of July, kasi kung titingnan mo to, this is around July 21, halfway through the month, dun tayo possibly makita ng trend reversal. So, ito yung kailangan natin ngayon i-watch out. So, on top of this being the biggest bullish divergence in history, this is also forming a falling wedge, which is traditionally a trend reversal to the upside. So, this is a good indication na possibly na ito na ngayon possible bottom. And usually, ang kanyang movement would somehow go like this. And then the more na nagko-consolidate yung ating price action within this pattern, the more likely na tayo magbe-break up. And technically, ang technical target niya talaga is the top of the rising wedge, of the falling wedge pala. So, usually ang kanyang target is either this level, the 42,000, or the previous high, which is this $59,000 area. So, let's say na mag-play out nga to, itong falling wedge. The first milestone na kailangan natin tingnan is first itong 50 moving average. Kailangan niya ma-break to. So if na-break natin yan, yan yung first milestone natin. Now the next milestone will be this 42,500 US dollars. So if na-break natin siya, that's our second milestone. Ano ba yung next milestone natin dyan? Next milestone is for us to have a golden cross. So we need to have a golden cross dito for our next milestone. And then our last milestone, of course, is this 50, around 59,000 or 60,000 US dollar area. So yun yung kailangan natin tingnan ngayon guys dito sa ating price action for the long term. So this is actually giving us a very big possible move for the long term. So if I were you, I've been doing a lot of if I were I would be DCAing at each level dito. I would do dollar cost averaging at each of these levels as much as possible habang hindi pa tayo nakakita ng trend reversal. As what you always say, bull market can make you money, but bear markets can make you rich. So this bear trend is actually one of the best time to enter any trade. So if I were you, I would be entering at these levels as much as possible. So ayun nga, so that's Bitcoin for the daily time frame. So as you can see guys, ang ganda ng ating movement ngayon. So meron tayong kakagaling lang din natin sa ating rising wedge and then ayun na decline. Ito falling wedge ngayon, it's a possible trend reversal to the upside. So ano pa ba nakikita natin dito? Meron pa tayo isa pang napapansin which is itong very strong resistance sa RSI. So i-plot natin siya ito. So if you're going to notice this resistance dito sa RSI, consistent yung kanyang decline ng RSI. However, the RSI is also getting this symmetric triangle forming around this area. So this would mean na magkakaroon tayo ng possible breakout anytime soon dito sa movement natin. So ayun nga, ito yung kailangan natin tingnan the RSI in the daily time frame kasi the RSI is converging during this falling wedge. So possible na major move happening anytime soon dito kay Bitcoin. Siguro that's around 2 to 3 weeks from now kasi this is on a very big time frame. So of course, Bitcoin is long-term bullish, but this one is a good indication to follow what will happen in the midterm. So we will be following this falling wedge in the following days to come. So yun nga, that's Bitcoin. Thanks also Shy Dairoj for dropping those donation. Shoutout sa'yo. May chance kaya mag 30k? Naka-DCA ako 32, 31, 30. So may chance daw ba mag 30k? If you're going to follow this trend pa din, we are 30k is actually possible pa din kasi lagyan natin to. So sundan natin tong movement. So ito ha, lakayan natin siya. Kung titingnan mo itong level na to, this is around 30,000 US dollars itong level. And our siguro lowest point would be 28,000. And 28,000 is very valid kasi yun yung naging lowest point natin sa previous candle week na to. So 28,000 is still possible. 30,000 din is possible as long as we keep on continuing this falling wedge. And as long as we are getting this divergence dito sa kanyang RSI, I think that's very possible pa din. Kasi yun nga, this is we are playing inside this pattern, so this is a good sign for Bitcoin. So if may DCA ka strategy for 32, 31, 30,000, I think it's a good sign kasi ang dami nating pwedeng entry level dito. So yeah, that's Bitcoin and let's now look siguro at the weekly time frame. So, i-hide lang muna natin to. And there's actually the most bullish thing na kailangan nyong makita with the weekly time frame. So, sa weekly time frame naman, makikita din natin na yung ating decline ng RSI is also consistent. So, this means na, yun nga, if mabreak natin yung RSI dito, either in the weekly or daily time frame, dun tayo makakita ng trend reversal to the upside. And so far, hindi pa natin siya na-break. So, sa ngayon, wala pa tayong trend reversal to the upside. And yeah, yun yung kailangan nating abangan kasi if we are going to check this one out, every time na nag-resist tayo sa kanyang RSI, doon tayo nagdo-drop sa Bitcoin price. So, kailangan natin ma-break itong RSI resistance natin dyan. And if you're going to look at this also, tingnan nyo to sa weekly time frame, ang laki ng support natin dito. So, it would it would also it would possibly be na ito na yung floor price natin around this area of 28,000 up to $35,000. So, yun yung possible floor price na nga natin. So, I don't think na bababa pa tayo dyan below 28,000. So, yun nga. Good thing to watch out din for. So, yun nga. That's Bitcoin for this weekly time frame. And yeah, let's try to look at this naman sa Binance chart natin kasi meron tayo doon MACD. So, let's look at the weekly time frame chart and then switch to logarithmic view. And then buksan natin si 50 moving average and 200 moving average. So anyway, ayan no. So right now, we are seeing also this MACD still continuing to the downside. However, if we are going to get some support in at this level, we might get the momentum para makapag-trend reversal na tayo to the upside for Bitcoin dito sa weekly time frame natin. So, this is actually starting to form some good signs in the coming weeks siguro for the Bitcoin price. So, if I were you, I would be starting to own more Bitcoin as much as possible during this period kasi, yun nga, if you could recall guys, ito yung the best time to get into crypto kasi, yun nga, June, July, August, and September are the best months to enter a Bitcoin season. If you could recall in our previous videos. So, yun nga, I would still accumulate more at this area. So, ayun, that's Bitcoin for the weekly. And let's siguro take a quick update dito sa ating chart natin for the 4-hour time frame and see what's happening. So, right now, we are getting this support around the $33,000 area. So, let's try to look at this at the very short term ulit. Delete lang natin yung mga excess indicators natin. So ayun, we are actually supported by this 33,000 support level. Pump na ba po? Pump na ba po ba ito, Sir T? I don't think so na siguro more on sideway actions for me. Kasi yun nga low volume siya. So I think possible na ganyan siya dito at this area. So yun yung more likely pwede mangyari. Pero tandaan nyo yung lagi ko sinasabi, the moving average are crucial to this movement. So if you want to see what's the next possible move, you have to look at the moving averages kasi ayun no, if ever nagkakaroon tayo ng downtrend, ito yung nagiging resistance natin. Pero if nagiging uptrend tayo, ito yung nagiging support natin, the moving average. And if ma-break natin yung moving average, doon lang tayo makita ng trend reversal. So ito, dito tayo nag-resist sa 20 moving average ng 1 hour time frame. So if this continues, we might actually see a possible rejection dito sa 20 moving average and let's say na-break natin siya. Saka lang tayo makita ng pump. So, yun yung kailangan nyo tandaan guys. Yung ating moving average, ang ating indicators para masabi natin kung magpo-pump or dump na ba tayo sa ating Bitcoin price. So, yun yung kailangan nyo tingnan guys. Itong moving averages talaga. So, 50 moving average po, di ba, need ma-break sa 4 hours, sir? Ah, kailangan niya ma-break 20, 50, 100, and 200. Yun yung for me na kailangan ma-break niya. But ang pinakang crucial dito is yung 200 moving average palagi. In order to flip bullish, kailangan niya ma-break yung 200 moving average coming from a downtrend. So, buksan natin yung 200 moving average. So, ito yung 200 moving average kasi sa historical data natin, sa early time frame, buksan natin siya dito sa trading view chart natin para mas malinaw. And then let's look at the 20 moving average. And then sa 4-hour time frame. So ito guys, mapapansin nyo na we are bullish every time we are above the 200 moving average ng 4-hour. So yun yung kailangan natin ma-break palagi. So ayan, no, dyan tayo nagkakaroon ng support, 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 and support. Actually, hindi to support. Dyan tayo nag-start mag-break. So, makakita tayo ng support every time we are above the 200 moving average ng 4-hour time frame. Pero if we broke down, such as nangyari dito, nag-breakdown tayo, the 200 moving average in the 4-hour time frame will act as a resistance. So, kita mo dyan, nag-resist tayo. Hence, nakita tayo ng major Bitcoin crash. So, yun yung kailangan natin makita. So, dito din, so right now, we tested this twice. So, ayan no, rejected dito, rejected once, rejected twice. Hopefully, third time's the charm. So, siguro anytime soon around our next retest ng ating 200 moving average. Sana dyan tayo makita ng pump. Pero yun nga, in order to flip bullish, kailangan natin ma-break itong 200 moving average in the 4-hour time frame. So yun yung kailangan nyo abangan guys. In order na, para masabi nyo na pump na talaga, dun mo masasabi na pump kung na-break nyo yung 200 moving average na 4-hour. And right now, hindi natin siya nakikita. And tandaan yung sinasabi ko din sa inyo guys, since Bitcoin is now playing around the 4-hour time frame, patience talaga ang kailangan nyo sa mga short term kasi right now, everything that is happening within the short term are mostly noise. So, sometimes hindi siya accurate na ngayon kasi mas nagpe-play out siya ngayon sa 4-hour time frame. Kasi kung titingnan mo sa 4-hour time frame, sobrang accurate ang movement niya, oh. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung paghihintay mo na within 1 hour, 2 hours, or 30 minutes, 15 minutes, yung mga ganun time frame, most of the time, they will be very irrelevant sa ating movement ngayon kay Bitcoin kasi 4-hour time frame yung pinaka-accurate ngayon. So let's go back to the hourly and let's take a quick look sa nangyayari ngayon. May nagsasabi, nagpa-pump na ba? We are actually trying to retest, guys, yung ating moving average. Ayan o. So, tandaan nyo, always remember, moving average yung kailangan nyo tingnan. Huwag kayo, hindi ibig sabihin na nakita nyo yung tumaas, hindi ibig sabihin nun pump na. Ibig sabihin lang nun, kailangan niya bumalik more likely sa 20 moving average. So, ayan o. So, 20 moving average, kailangan nyo tingnan. And also, kailangan nyo din pansinin kasi yung volume every time na nagkakaroon ng breakout. So, sa ngayon, weak yung volume natin. Kaya hindi tayo nakita ng, ay, hindi siya, if you're going to zoom out, mahina-hina yung volume niya. So, that's not a full breakout if we don't have the volume. So, ayun guys, that's Bitcoin for this time frame. So, let's move on to this next topic naman, which is ito, Bitcoin discussion with Michael Saylor. Actually, maganda tong topic pag-usapan kasi I believe most of you na nandito sa crypto space would see Bitcoin and crypto as a profit trading or more on trading opportunity or investment. Pero hindi siya actually hindi investment, more on trading opportunities eh. So, ito yung magandang discussion na pinasok nila. Some people would look at Bitcoin or crypto in general as trading, as you can make money for the short term. But in here, Benjamin Cohen and Michael Saylor are talking about na Bitcoin, and pinag-uusapan nila na Bitcoin is a digital asset. So, ano ba difference nun with a digital asset and some trading opportunities? Kasi kung trading opportunities pinag-uusapan natin, you would be buying at these levels, and then you would be shorting when the price goes down. So, yun yung trading. So, you're going to buy long and then sell short. So, ang tingin mostly ng mga tao na nandito sa crypto in general is you can make money out of crypto. Pero dito sa video na pinag-usapan nila, hindi yun yung kanilang main point. Ang main point dito is crypto is a digital asset, one of the best digital asset dahil sa kanyang decentralization na fundamental. So, while some people may see this as profitable trades, dito sa kanila, they see it as an asset. Paano ba yung case na ganun? So, let's say bumili ka ng ng lupa ng let's say bumili ka ng lupa sa Ayala Land. So, alam natin na as time goes by, property will of course will increase its value kasi nga yun nga tumataas yung value niya over time as well as yun nga may inflation. But meron tayo doon isang problem. It is the governing body or the government or yung tax jurisdiction or any type of jurisdiction. So yun yung nagiging problem sa traditional asset. So let's say tumaas yung value ng lupa mo sa Ayala Land. Ang next problem mo doon is yung taxation nun or yung magiging jurisdiction nun. Let's say na, oh, tumaas yun ng value nito. Mag-impose tayo ng 1.5% increase ng tax dito sa Ayala Land areas dito kasi business district siya and very profitable. So, kaganon yung government. So, ngayon, in, instead na maging more valuable yung iyong asset, nagkakaroon ka ng liability kasi you pay taxes. You are actually being governed by someone. So, yes, meron kang profit. However, you are getting those losses pa din kasi nga, though hindi mo naman masasabi siya na losses kasi you're still contributing to the community. However, in terms of value, nababawasan yung iyong pwede mong makuwang value with that property kasi nga nagbabayad ka ng tax. And let's say same goes with other types of, let's say mga bank or sa bank kasi 'di ba every time na naglalagay ka doon ng money, they would put in interest at the same time tinatax nila yon. So of course bumababa pa din yung value mo, and of course if nag-store ka ng cash, yun nga, as time goes by, cash would still be the same and they can get devalued, such as yung nangyari nga sa Venezuela na naging sobrang bagsak na economy nila dahil dun nga sa kanilang devaluation ng kanilang monetary asset nila. So ngayon, what's the best asset in history? What's the best asset in the world na magsosolve ng problem na walang jurisdiction, hindi siya dependent on any type of devaluation, and also of all, ano ba yung asset na will stand through time na kahit anong mangyari, hindi siya magiging affected by any underlying factors. And doon papasok ang Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So if you are guys into in trading or if you want to invest in Bitcoin, what you should know is unlike other asset, Bitcoin is decentralized. So let's say nasa Pilipinas ka and then you bought, instead of investing in a property, you invested in crypto in general. So let's say bumili ka ng Bitcoin, instead of 10 million pesos na lupa, bumili ka ng 10 million pesos na Bitcoin. As time goes by, of course tataas pa din yung 10 million value ng property mo. Pero Yun nga, nagkakaroon din tayo ng inflation and yun nga yung mga tax laws. Ano ba mangyayari ngayon dito sa ating Bitcoin? Let's say nag-start yung government mag-tax sa Bitcoin sa Philippines. So, tinax nila, oh, pag nag-Bitcoin ka dito sa Pilipinas, kailangan mo magbayad ng 10% tax. Ano ba yung ano ba yung difference na mangyayari doon sa property mo? If sa Bitcoin, tinaksa nila ng 10% sa Philippines, you could actually move your money instead of, since Bitcoin is decentralized, you can actually move your digital money from a crypto Philippine wallet up, and pwede mo siya, let's say, ilagay sa tax haven na country like Monaco, or let's say, saan ba mas mura, like Hong Kong. So, pwede mo ilipat dun yung wallet mo at a different area, and there you go. Wala ka na actually trace na, kasi first of all, wala na yung pera mo dito sa Philippines dahil nga, yun nga, in decentralization factor niya, nalilipat yung money mo from one country to another. So, in that case, safe na yung pera mo from taxation. Now, ito yung next dito. Ano ba yung difference niya sa kanyang sa property? Sa property kasi, let's say, tinaksa na nila ng 10%, extra 10% ngayon sa property. So, let's say tumaas yung value na on property, and then tinaasan din nila yung tax. Pwede mo ba siya ilipat with other countries such as yung crypto? No. Kasi property is by nature, andun lang siya sa lupa and hindi mo siya malilipat. So, if you want to avoid those kinds of devaluation ng mga taxes, you cannot move the property. It's either you have to either have to abide with the law, or it's either isasell mo siya and then let's say bili ka ng ibang property na tingin mo magaganon na mas taas pa para maiwasan mo yung mga tax. Pero either way, if you bought another property, you would be subjected to another tax pa din. So what does this tells you? Every time na you buy another property, you would be, instead na tumaas lalo yung value ng pera mo, nagkakaroon pa rin siya ng devaluation kasi you keep on paying this minor fees. So meron dun yung mga tax mo, meron dun yung mga iba't ibang monthly na binabayaran mo na amortization. So ano ba yung difference niya dito with a digital asset? Sa digital asset, you can move it anywhere around the globe. At the same time, the value is not affected dahil nga yung amount of Bitcoin na makuha mo in the Philippines would be the same amount of Bitcoin na madadala mo in, let's say, US. So, if you have 5 Bitcoin in the Philippines and nag-move ka sa US and then di mo siya ginalaw, you would still have 5 Bitcoin pa din sa US. And it's subject to the same value pa din, since yun nga, the value of Bitcoin is overall the same pa din sa buong mundo. So yun yung kagandahan ng decentralization. It's a peer-to-peer network and it does not depend on any jurisdiction. So kaya ako, I heavily believe na Bitcoin is the future kasi, or crypto in general. So that's why I believe na maganda ang crypto kasi it defeats it it cuts the ano nga yung middleman na nakikita natin sa existing financial institution ngayon. So meron tayong government, meron tayong bank. What if we cut away all of those? What if tinanggal natin yung mga nagko-cause ng devaluation and nagpapagalaw ng pera? Doon papasok yung solution ng cryptocurrency, which is decentralization, and wala ka nang dadaanan na middleman. It's just peer-to-peer. Kailangan mo ng pera, bigay ko sa yung pera. Bigay ko, kailangan mo ng, let's say, kailangan mo ng 0.5 5 satoshis. Bigyan kita ng 5 satoshis. Ayun, walang tax, walang bank, walang kahit anong process or babayaran para mag-devalue yung pera. So yun yung kagandahan nun. Kasi 'di ba, let's say nagpasa ka ng money from bank transfer. So magba-bank transfer ka from, let's say, BDO to BPI. Of course, meron yung fees such as yun nga, yung ililipat mo yung transfer fee mo, meron ganon. And then meron din tayo isa pang, let's say, pag iniiwan mo yung pera mo within a bank, meron din siya, 'di ba, yung nagkakaroon siya ng tax, and dahil nga ginagamit nila yung pera na yun kasi nilalaro din nila other purposes. So dito, pag nakastore ka lang sa isang crypto wallet or kahit ano in crypto in general, yung pera na meron ka, it does not get affected anyhow kasi nga meron din tayo tinatawag na hash encryption for crypto, yung mga hash blocks niya. So hindi lang siya basta-basta nagagalaw, secured talaga siya kasi nga crypto in general is yung kanyang encryption is secured by itself dahil nga yun nga if you're going to follow the blockchain technology. So alam ko medyo nagiging deep na yung topic natin. So bigyan ko kayo example kung bakit di na affected si Bitcoin, so blockchain technology. So si blockchain technology is actually a digital ledger. So meron tayong tinatawag na distributed ledger tech blockchain ito. So every block would consist of one transaction. So every block would consist of one transaction. And then, of course, every time na ginagamit mo siya sa iba't ibang transaction, yung block ng transaction na yun, yung let's say 50 pesos na ginastos mo, makikita din ng ibang, let's say ibang network nakita na, o nagpasa ka ng 50 pesos dito, alam nila nagpasa ka ng 50 pesos kasi na mabe-verify nila na nakita nila yung 50 pesos mo. So in that case, kung let's say nawalan ka ng piso dun sa iyong 50 pesos, imposible mangyari yun kasi dahil nga dito sa network na to, alam nilang nagpasa ka ng 50 pesos as a whole. So in this case, hindi nagde-devalue yung pera mo kasi alam nilang kung magkano yung pinasa mo, yun yung marireceive mong pera talaga sa kabilang side. So yun yung kagandahan ng kanyang network nito. Unlike sa bank na nagkakaroon ng fees na nababawasan yung pera, dito alam mo na kung magkano ibibigay mo, yun ang makukuha niya kasi wala kang binabawasan na pera. So ayun, yun yung kagandahan ng pinag-uusapan nila dito which is yun nga, digital asset. The best digital asset si crypto kasi in general, wala kang devaluation na nakukuha. And as time passes by, yung asset, pwede mo siya madala kahit saan sa mundo kasi nga decentralized siya. So yeah, masyadong nag-dive in deep na tayo masyado dun sa technology. Pero yun nga yung gusto kong ma-bring up the topic with na pinag-usapan nila Michael Saylor and Benjamin Cohen, which is yun nga yung technology of Bitcoin. So let's dive in siguro to the short term again dito kay Bitcoin. And yeah, we are actually now getting some resistance dito. Let's look siguro at the 20 EMA, 20 MA moving average. So right now, nag-break tayo dyan pero we are actually trying to test again this support. Previous resistance is now acting as a support for the 20 EMA. So kailangan niyang sustain tong level para mag-flip bullish. Pero if not, this will continue to the downside. So ayan. So right now, we are since yun nga low volume tayo masyado dito, possible na hanggang dito lang possibly yung ating downward trend. Sir, ano po ang potential ni BNB? Actually, hindi ko masyado fina-follow yung technology ni BNB eh. So, pero of course, first of all, meron nga siyang exchange and then yun nga yung Binance Smart Chain niya. Pero hindi ko masyado fina-follow si BNB regarding its technology. Ang fina-follow ko mostly yung decentralization ni Bitcoin. And that's why heavily bullish ako kay Bitcoin and doon ako usually nag-invest talaga. Kasi ako personally, nagagamit ko na yung cryptocurrency sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. Let's say, mga credit card payments or bills. Pwede ka actually magbayad diretso ng crypto. Kung magkano yung kinita mo sa crypto, you could actually pay, like sa example, yung BPI credit card bills mo, pwede ka mag-pay ng crypto by coins.ph. So, coins.ph is not a trading platform. Ang dami nagsasabi na ang laki ng fees niya. Of course, kasi hindi siya platform for trading, e-wallet siya. So, maganda doon na mag-store ng crypto para lang magkaroon ka ng wallet sa Philippines at magamit mo siya at any time na let's say kailangan mo gumastos ng crypto, meron kang coins.ph para doon ka gumastos. So, doon ko ginagamit si coins.ph. So, pag credit card bill, pag bubuksan mo si coins.ph, meron doon actually option na pay bill, pwede ka mag-pay ng water bill or Meralco bill using crypto. Or if not, pwede mo siya i-convert in crypto to peso para yun yung pambayad mo dun sa iyong credit card bill or kahit anong bills in general kasi lahat naman ng payment method, lahat ng mga bills payment sa Philippines meron naman mostly sa coins.ph. So you could pay directly kung magkano yung profit mo sa crypto, pwede mo gamitin pang bayad dun nga sa coins.ph. So, kino-consider nyo pa ang fundamentals or purely technical analysis lang? Your thoughts on Grayscale on unlocking Bitcoin bearish and Elon Jack Dorsey discussion about Bitcoin bullish? Of course, fundamentals pa din ang kailangan natin tingnan. Pero if trading in general, purely technical analysis siya. Kasi kahit anong itong mga movement na to, itong mga short-term movements are mostly technical analysis and dependent on the data itself. Yung mga news na nakikita nyo, I think that's different kasi the fundamentals would be more on the use cases. Pero yung kanyang value itself, kung saan napupunta yung price niya, I think that's more on technical analysis at hindi doon masyado dependent ang fundamentals. Siguro yung fundamentals, let's say, nag-start out yung crypto project na yon and then alam natin na maganda yung project niya. Siguro doon natin malalaman na maganda mag-invest. Pero in general, yung mga news on yung mga sinasabi nila Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, Michael Saylor, it does not affect the Bitcoin price overall. It affects the short term. Siguro magkakaroon ng minor pump. Katulad yung nangyari ngayon kay Doge. Nakita tayo ng short term pump kay Dogecoin. Tingnan mo to sa 15-minute time frame. Nagkaroon tayo biglang pump. Does that affect the long term? No. That's for the very short term lang. So for me, yung mga news na nakita natin over the internet, it does not affect the Bitcoin price overall in the long term. So for me, mga news, short term lang siya, but it does not really affect the price action in general for crypto. So yun, purely technical analysis ako sa pag-aalam ng value. Pero kung malalaman mo kung mag-stand out through the test of time, dun maganda tingnan ng fundamentals. Anong pair pinaka-compatible ni BTC? Sa own opinion lang po na sa pag-TA. Compatible, pair na pinaka-compatible. Siguro, ang kailangan mo tingnan first is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So, let's say you want to go into any altcoins. Ang kailangan mo palagi tingnan is this chart, Bitcoin dominance. If pabagsak si Bitcoin dominance, that would mean altcoins are stronger than than Bitcoin. So, ibig sabihin nun, altcoins would pump more kay Bitcoin. So, pagbabagsak yung Bitcoin dominance, dun magpapump ang altcoins. So, last around March to May, nakita natin, di ba nagpump lahat ng altcoins? Dahil nga dito sa Bitcoin dominance, bumagsak si Bitcoin dominance, kaya nagpump si altcoins. Ngayon, nakikita nyo, di ba, wala masyado nagpa-pump na altcoins. Kasi uptrend tayo lately kay Bitcoin dominance. So, para masabi natin na good movement tayo kay altcoins, kailangan natin first tingnan si Bitcoin dominance kung pabagsak. So, ngayon, nagkaroon tayo ng short-term downward trend. So, kaya nakita natin si Ethereum, pati si Cardano nag-pump heavily against Bitcoin. So, dun lang siya yun yung dahilan lang kaya nagkaroon ng pump for those short term. Okay ba mag-sell short ngayon or wait muna ng confirmation? Mm, actually low volume siya so mahirap sabihin yun na kung maganda mag-sell short ngayon. So, of course, trade at your own risk pa din dito sa area na to. But if I were you, if you want to trade for the very short term talaga, what I would suggest is you trade within the moving averages talaga. You would the best strategy dito is every time na below the moving average tayo, buksan natin si 20 moving average. Every time na below the 20 moving average, this would be the best time to long. Kasi tinan mo, pag below the moving average, maglo-long dyan, long, long. And every time above the moving average, that's the best time to short, 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 ayun no, short, and then ito long. So, dun mas maganda mag-play sa kanyang moving average talaga. Kung gusto mo mag-trade into short term talaga for crypto. Sir, tumataba ka po. Baka malaki lang yung shirt ko kasi ayun no. Sadyang sobrang laki ng shirt ko ata talaga. Ano po ibig sabihin ng low volume or high volume? Sige, tingnan natin siya. So, bigyan natin kayo ng isang example. Para masabi nating breakout siya, kailangan natin ng volume. So, ito yung volume oh. So, in order to see a breakout, kailangan mataas yung ating volume dito. Kung makikita mo tong levels na to, itong candle, pag magbe-break siya to the downside, dapat mataas yung red niya. Ito tingnan nyo to guys, dito sa Bitcoin dump natin. Pag mas maraming red, ibig sabihin that's a confirmed downtrend. So ayun na, mas maraming nag-sell. Pero if mas maraming green, that's a confirmed uptrend. So ito tingnan nyo to sa chart na to. So sabi nila, babagsak na si Bitcoin to 20K nung nakita natin bumagsak below the 30K level. Pero nakita mo, malakas yung kanyang buy volume dito. Naging green siya. So that means, mas maraming nagbabuy ngayon. So maraming buy volume. So that's more likely na tumaas yung price natin kasi mas maraming buyers. Pero if, let's say, mas maraming red, marami nag-sell. Pero kung ganitong case na ganyan lang, wala masyadong galaw yung market na hindi wala masyado nagba-buy, wala masyado nag-sell, and that could lead possibly to some big move if the more na nagko-converge yung ating price actions and volume. So ayun, yun yung maganda tingnan with the volume. And of course, during a breakout, para masabi natin palagi na confirm yung breakout, kailangan natin makita ng volume, 'di ba? Lagi ko sinasabi. So let's look for an example. So ito actually yung pinakamagandang example dito sa daily time frame. So ito isang example na maganda. So this one is actually a rising wedge. Pero na nag-breakout tayo. Ito. Para masabi natin na confirm siya, kailangan tumaas yung volume niya. And ayun na, nakita natin tumaas si volume dito. So that was a confirmed breakout. So ayun nga, since mas maraming sell volume dito, ibig sabihin nun, tutuloy-tuloy ito pababa. And nangyari ngayon, so tuloy-tuloy siya pababa kasi mas mataas yung ating sell volume dito. So ganun yung dapat makikita natin. Mas mataas yung kanyang, if pababa siya, dapat mas mataas yung sell volume. If mas mataas siya, dapat mas mataas yung kanyang buy volume kung pataas yung breakout. So dito, since pababa yung ating price action, dapat pataas yung sell volume. And nakita natin na pataas yung sell volume, kaya dumiretso siya pababa. So yun yung dahilan kaya kailangan natin tingnan si volume. Kasi every time nagkakaroon ng breakout, doon tayo more likely magkakaroon ng movement, confirm movement if magkaroon ng volume talaga. And yun nga nangyari dito sa ating latest action, sa ating early. Kulang tayo ng volume dito sa double bottom. Ay no, mahina yung buy volume natin kaya hindi tayo shadow nag-pump to the upside for the double bottom. Ito, sa ating 4-hour time frame. So ito, double bottom. And then, kailangan dapat natin ng higher volume. Ang problema, hindi tumaas yung volume natin. Consistent pa din siya dyan sa level na yan. So, that would lead to a fake out if ganun yung volume. Ngayon dito, no volume din ulit, low volume. So, this could possibly not go to this level na mas lower. So, kailangan mo talaga makita yung volume every time na magkakaroon ng breakout sa kahit anong pattern para masabi nating confirm move siya. Sir, good eve. Paano ba magkaroon ng indicator sa mobile phone or Android? Actually, hindi ko lang kung makikita nyo ha. So, for dito, pwede nyo siya actually, di ba, ito open mo si Binance. Pwede mo actually i-select sa baba, meron dyan yung ito, moving averages, EMA, MACD, RSI. Pwede ka dyan actually mag-select na indicators, tapos predefined naman na. And then, if, hindi ko lang kita mo siya masyado eh. So, if select, ayun, actually lalabas na indicators doon pag sinelect mo na. So, ganun lang naman siya. So yun guys, kailangan natin makita ng volume talaga for a confirm breakout. So just a quick recap lang sa mga napag-usapan natin. So yun nga, this double bottom pattern is invalidated nga kasi nga low volume. And then ito nga head and shoulders natin pattern, possibly na baka fake out siya kasi low volume din. So ano more likely mangyayari pag low volume? More likely pag low volume, this would move sideways. Actually, for the past few weeks, low volume tayo, kaya tayo sideways action dito sa area na to. Ayun. May nagsasabi fear and greed index daw. Sige, let's take a quick look for the fear and greed index. So, fear and greed index, matagal na din natin fina-follow. But, wala pa tayong update lately doon. So, let's try to check an update on the Bitcoin fear and greed index. Right now, nasa fear tayo. Medyo tumaas tayo dito sa fear and greed index. Let's look at the 1 month time frame. Actually, ganun pa din. 3 months. 3 months, somehow, I think average pa din siya. So, not much of, hindi siya something na parang mapapa-raise ka na eyebrows. Though uptrend siya dito for the past few days, uptrend yung ating fear and greed index. So, that's a good sign na possibly baka tumaas na and nagkakaroon na ulit ng confidence sa market. So, that's a good or bullish indication din siya. Pero, if nasa fear tayo, that's actually the best time to buy kasi nga, extreme fear can be the signs that investors are too worried. That could be a buying opportunity. So, ibig sabihin nun, pag extreme fear or fear, that's a best buy. Best buy pag extreme fear. So, kaya sinasabi ko sa inyo, mag-buy kayo na mag-buy during this period kasi dun yung best time to accumulate more coins. When everyone is fearful, that's the best time to be greedy. So, habang tumataas to, pag let's say umabot na to sa ating naging extreme greed na tayo, that's the best time to sell. So, tingnan natin sa 1 year. nakita nyo nung around this December, euphoric moment yan eh, December to April. That's actually the best time to sell kasi mataas yung ating greed. So dapat, by that time, doon ka nag-start mag-sell na. So far, itong free and greed index, I think medyo mm, 50-50. Possible pa na bumaba pa to at maging extreme fear pa din if, let's say, Bitcoin still goes down. Pati ayun. May tatanong, can we still see a $2,000 Ethereum? I think it's still possible pa din kasi if you're going to look at the moving averages in the 4-hour time frame, buksan natin sa 4-hour, tingnan mo yung 50 moving average. Andito pa din tayo sa 2,000 US dollars for Ethereum. So, if ever na bumagsak siya, that would still amount to a level of around 2,000 US dollars. Diyan, no? Pero sa daily time frame, if you're going to look at the 100 and 200 moving average, pwede pa din siya mag-play around this area kay Ethereum, which is around 1,850 up to 2,300. So, dun yung possible area na mag-play out si Ethereum. So, kailangan nyo tingnan si moving averages talaga for the 4-hour time frame kasi yun yung magiging support natin. Ayun ang 4-hour time frame. Right now, dun tayo nagpa-play out sa support na yan. And also, for the daily time frame kasi ito yung macro scale indicator natin, yung ating for the long-term movement. Hindi ba pag July, medyo mataas yung profit? Sabi nila sa data, mataas yung, if history is any indication nga, mas mataas ang ating returns during July than June or August. So we'll have to confirm that one out. So if nangyari siya, I think that's a good thing kasi yung chart na ginawa natin nun, ibig sabihin, accurate pa din siya so far. So we might actually see a higher return for Bitcoin in July if nag-play out ngayong ginawa natin noong charts. So saan makikita yung chart ng Bitcoin dominance? Sa trading view, meron siya doon. Sir Tristan, sinasabi mo ba din yung entry and take profit targets mo sa Telegram? Entry, hindi ko sinasabi yung mga entry targets kasi it actually depends kung saan mo mas prefer mag-enter. Kasi you could enter after a breakout or you could enter after the retest ng breakout. So, for me, ang best entry talaga is during a confirmed breakout which is candle close beyond the resistance or beyond the support. So, let's say if lumampas to in the early, buksan natin to. If lumampas siya or let's say sa 50-minute time frame, if lumagpas siya tapos nag-close siya below this neckline, that would be a good signal for me na mag-entry. Pero if let's say hindi siya nag-close beyond that, let's say week lang parang ganito. Ito, week lang siya. Hindi siya good entry for me kasi hindi siya nag-close below the resistance, below the support. So for me ang entry talaga is every time na may candle close beyond the support. Pero yung target area ko, sinasabi ko naman siya kasi mostly yung target price actions ko yun yung most of the time yun yung aking chine-check na possible sell areas. So kung yari, ito nga, yung double bottom pattern na sinusundan natin. Ang initial target ko talaga nun is this. Buksan lang natin na maayos. Ang initial target ko talaga nun is this 39 to 30, 38 to 39K if nag-play out siya. So, yun yung sinasabi ko naman yung aking target levels. Pero yung entry levels, hindi ko siya sinasabi kasi subjective yung entry levels kung saan kayo mas confident pumasok. And may plan ka din ba gumawa ng VIP group sa future? No. So, lahat ng signals ko for free siya. Kasi personal ano ko lang naman siya eh. And sineshare, kung ano yung tinatrade ko, sineshare ko lang sa inyo. And yun nga, this is not a financial advice group nga guys or any ganon as what I keep on saying. This is actually more of me sharing my technical analysis to the world kung and nasa sa inyo na kung paano nyo gagamitin yung technical analysis na ginagawa ko. So, lahat to for free. So, wala naman ako sinisingle sa inyo. Kayo lang kung gusto niyo mag-donate, pwede kayo mag-donate dito sa channel by clicking the dollar sign down below. So, pero in general, wala akong sinisingil na kahit anong payment dito. So, if may nagsisingil sa inyo ng payment, remember na I don't solicit money from you guys. So, yun ingat lang sa mga possible na mag-scam sa inyo. Sir, how about Polygon? Mataas yung volume niya, then sideways lang siya as of now. Sige, let's take a quick look on Polygon. So, for Polygon, ang natandaan natin nun, let's try to look at the daily time frame. So, for the daily time frame, ang lagi natin tinatandaan dito is moving average as what I keep on saying. So, dito, ang naging notable moving averages dito is ito. So, actually, ito pinalot natin tong mga charts noon. And nag-play out na siya actually exactly. So, tingnan natin yung pag-play out niya ulit. So, sabi natin mag-play out siya around the moving averages those times. So, ayun nga, nag-play out siya dito sa 20-day moving average. So, sabi natin, this one will act as a resistance. So, if ever na doon tayo makakuha ng support and resistance, ito, doon tayo more likely lang magbabounce. So, ayan, nakita nyo, dyan tayo naglalaro ngayon. So, of course, dadaan tong moving average ngayon dito. So, ano ba yung next move natin dito? Ngayon, ito yung mga next na kailangan nyo tingnan. So, if ma-break itong 100-day moving average, palitan na natin. If ma-break itong 100-day moving average, matic will go down to 0.6. Around 0.6 or 0.7 if ma-break natin tong support ng 100-day moving average. Pero let's see, naging support siya. Ang resistance na pwede natin tingnan is itong 1.23 to 1.27 dollar area. So, dyan tayo possible na magkakaroon ng resistance and kailangan natin siya ma-break in order to flip to the next resistance which is itong 50-day moving average. So, nag-play siya around dyan. So, let's say na-break natin tong 20-day moving average. Yung next resistance na kailangan natin tingnan is itong 50-day moving average. So, dyan tayo possibly mag-play with Polygon. So, yun yung kailangan nyo tingnan which is the moving averages for a daily time frame kay Polygon. Quantum, no idea ako sa kung anong quantum eh. Pati T-Fuel. But yeah, we'll end the live siguro in 5 minutes kasi I think medyo matagal na tayo. And yeah. So thanks din sa mga nag-donate kanina, especially kay Shai. Thanks for the donation and shoutout sa'yo sa kanina. Yung tatanong, any good altcoins for the long term? Ethereum for me and Cardano. Paano mo po nilagyan ng maraming MA sa Binance? Pwede mo i-click to, technical indicator, and then type mo moving average, and then click ka lang ng click. GRT? What's GRT? Sige nga, let's take a quick look kung anong GRT. Di ko alam ano yung quantum eh, so kaya hindi ko ma-check siguro. Hindi ko siya kasi alam eh. GRT is actually getting downtrend movement. So, 20 moving average in the daily yung kailangan mo tingnan. So, as you can see, doon tayo nag-reject. Ayun no, reject sa 20 moving average. So, kailangan niya ma-break yan para mag-flip siya bullish dito sa movement natin dito. Ano mo mas okay? EMA or MA? May different use cases sila kasi. Si MA, yun yung overall average niya. So, regardless kung kailan siya, kahit anong time, moving average would be yung overall movement niya for, let's say, 20 day moving average. Yung overall movement niya for the past 20 days, yun yung average niya. Pero pag sinasabi natin EMA or exponential, ibig sabihin nun, sa 20 days na yon, mas bibigyan ko ng halaga, mas bibigyan ko ng mas malaking weight ng average yung latest day. So, kung yari, meron kang 20 day moving average. Yung previous 5 days, mas mataas yung weight ng average niya as compared to the previous 15 more days. So sa 20-day moving average, yung habang lumalapit yung day natin within today, mas mataas yung weight ng average niya. So, mas skewed yung kanyang itsura. So, ito, bigyan ko kayo ng isang example dito sa, let's use siguro Bitcoin on the daily. So, ito 200 EMA and 200 MA. Tingnan nyo yung difference niya. Sa 200, ito yung 200 MA. So, ito yung overall average niya for the past 200 days. So, kita mo, tuloy, dire-diretso lang siya. So, ibig sabihin nun, regardless kung ano yung price action niya, kino-consider niya. Pero, ito naman si 20 MA. 20 MA, i-consider niya yung latest action niya. So, yung overall niya, overall price action plus times the latest movement. So, latest movement is bearish. So, susunod siya sa bearish action as compared sa ating traditional na moving average. Yung overall lang na movement, si EMA is exponential. Kukunin niya yung latest action niya, which is yung latest bearish movement. Ita-take into consideration niya dito sa moving average. So, kaya may iba nagsasabi na mas accurate si 20 EMA. Si EMA, kaya sinasabi nila mas accurate yun kasi tinatake into consideration yung latest action. Unlike kay MA, tinatake into consideration yung overall. So, yun yung difference niya. EMA, mas nagli-lean on to the latest action. MA is mas nagli-lean on the overall action. Yun yung difference niya. So, siguro ito, last question. Paano mo malalaman yung close? So, let's say, fina-follow mo si Bitcoin for the early time frame. Malalaman mo yung candle close if ito, each candle is a candle, of course. So, malamang, ito, let's say gumagalaw ngayon si price. Para masabi mo na candle close siya, kailangan by the next, let's say around 8 o'clock ngayon. So, dapat by 9 o'clock, dapat, pag nag 9 o'clock, itong candle is matatapos. That's a candle close. So, ayun. So, yun yung candle close lang. Magkakaroon lang, by the time na, let's say, the early time frame, kung saan natapos yung candle at the next hour, yun yung candle close. So anyway, let's end this video na and medyo mahaba na. So thanks guys for watching, and if you find this video useful, please give this video a like And if you want to join our signals too, pwede kayo mag-join sa iba't ibang social media sites natin. Link is in the description down below. Meron tayo Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and Discord group. If you also want to support the channel, you could also leave a donation down below by the YouTube Super Chat sa $sign. So, ayun, if you guys want to know and see more contents like this, please subscribe for more. And if you find this video informative, please give this video a like. So, last few questions lang bago natin i-end. Si EMA is a leading indicator while MA is a lagging indicator. Yup, kasi EMA is skewed to the latest price action. Unlike a moving average, MA in general is an overall average. So overall average, MA, exponential moving average, meaning sa latest price action niya. So yun yung concept niya. Okay. So ayun, thanks you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.